Hi there, I'm Kathleen Jasper, and this is part 2 of our good words, bad words strategy. Now we're going to use what we learned in part 1 and apply it to actual test questions. Let's get started. All right, so now that we've done part 1, and if you haven't done part 1, go back and check that out. Now that we know the good words and we know the bad words and we can quickly identify both, let's get into some actual practice test questions from my study guides so you can see how to apply this in context, in practice. All right, so I don't want you to think too much about the question here. All right, this is a lot. I always tell my students to start with the answer choices first. If we can find some good words and eliminate bad words, we can be on the right track here and we won't have to get lost in this big scenario, okay? So A, enhancing recall of information from the text. Now, I talked about the Bloom's taxonomy pyramid. Recall is just remembering or memorizing. Not the best word on the exam. Remember, we want students to be using higher order thinking skills. So let's cross off A just because it kind of has a bad word in it. B, encouraging deep engagement. Ooh, I like it. And critical thinking through questioning strategies. Remember, I told you questioning, evaluating, critical thinking. All of those are good words. I like B. I'm going to circle it. C, focusing on the sequence of events for a better understanding of the plot. Notice this says understand. Remember, if we're thinking about that Bloom's taxonomy, understand is down here. Recall is down here. Critical thinking is up here. So B is still in the running as my best answer choice. D, improving the ability to identify. Identify is also at the bottom of the pyramid. So essentially this has 1, 2, 3 bad words. Now, is it bad to have students work on recall? Is it bad to have students work on understanding and identifying? No, absolutely not. They need those skills. But on the test, if we see something that says critical thinking, that's the winner. That's the winner. All right. Now, just to make sure, let's read the question. During a class discussion on a recently read novel, a teacher encourages students to ask open-ended questions. Well, open-ended questions are not recall. They're not identifying. They might be understanding, but open-ended is like, we're saying things like, why do you think the character made that choice? What could have happened if ... The teachers focus on prompting students to generate questions. Generating questions is critical thinking. Primarily supports which comprehension strategy? And this is critical thinking. And notice I got it before I even had to read the question, okay? So zero in on those good words and eliminate bad words and think like a test maker. Let's go with the next one. So again, here we have answer choices and a big old scenario. Let's go with the answer choices first. Provide differentiated instruction that builds on students' unique strengths and experiences. Love it. Differentiated instruction. I love that answer choice. This is actually from the SLLA 6990. Incorporate project-based learning activities into the curriculum. Now, if you're a new teacher, project-based learning is all the rage, right? So you might think, yeah, that's good. Project-based learning. It's not a bad word. It's not as good, though, as differentiated instruction. Project-based learning, you're giving this to the whole class. Differentiation means you're helping support students where they are. So A is better. C, develop individualized performance criteria. That has a differentiated vibe. Let's keep going. To drive instruction and assessment for each student. All right, this one sounds pretty good. The problem I have is it says individualized performance criteria. Those are tests. Do we have individualized tests? No, we have individualized instruction so we can help students meet the standard, which is standard across all students. That's why we're pushing them. They got to meet that standard in standardized education. So C is kind of a distractor. That's the one they want you to pick. It's not the correct answer. This one's tricky. And D, create and implement standards aligned independent study programs. Now this one's tricky. Here we have standards aligned. Good word. But independent study programs, that means the students are on their own most of the time. That means that there's a good word attached to a bad phrase. Be on the lookout for that. And again, this is SLLA 6990. So this is for our leadership candidates, but you can see the pattern is the same. So D, I don't like because of this independent study. A is still my best. Provide differentiated instruction that builds on students' unique strengths and experiences. This is also a strengths-based approach. We're focusing on the strengths. We're not saying differentiate instruction for our students who can't achieve, differentiate instruction for students who just don't get it. No, each student has different strengths and experiences, right? Now, you can go through here. Basically, it says after a needs assessment, the leadership team decides to focus on certain subgroups. These are ELL students and low socioeconomic. Now, instead of saying these students don't speak English, these students come from poverty, instead of saying that, we say these students have unique strengths, because they do. Students who are able to be bilingual, that's a strength. Students who are survivors who come from poverty, they have different experiences. This is a good thing. They have lots of strengths and experiences to share. The needs assessment and data showed these students tend to perform at substantially lower levels. So what are we going to do? We're going to differentiate instruction and base that on their strengths and experiences. And finally, the last one here, let's have a look at the answer choices. To encourage students to focus on audience and purpose in their writing. Okay, I like audience and purpose. That's pretty good if you're working on a English language arts. To ensure students achieve proper grammar, typically, we should be working on proper grammar, in my opinion, but typically proper grammar is not the thing we're focusing on. We're focusing more on critical thinking skills, higher order thinking skills with writing, reading, things like that. I don't love B. C, to provide a clear framework for expectations and guide them in their writing process. All right, I like the term expectations. I like clear framework, clear expectations. C looks good. A is not bad either. I'm going to put a dot there. D, to limit the amount of time needed for revisions and review. This does not work. That's kind of a bad phrase. Let's have a look at the question. An upper elementary teacher introduces a rubric. Well, right away, a rubric goes with expectations. So C is going to be the best answer there. All right, so that is my good words, bad words strategy and how to apply it with some test questions. If you have any questions for us, you can leave those in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me show you where to get our resources if you are interested in our study materials and getting more information and support for your teacher certification exams. All right, all you have to do is hop over to KathleenJasper.com and you can see that we have a ton of programs for the Praxis exams. We focus primarily on the Praxis, but many of our study guides will work for any exam because they all kind of test the same thing. So we have full programs here if you want to click that. This gives a lot of information. For example, this is all of what we offer for the elementary ed exam. And we also have just study guides if you just want to, pick up the Praxis Core study guide or the Praxis PLT 5621 22 2324. We have it here. You can also go to Amazon and get a physical book. When you order from us online from our website, it's a digital study guide in a PDF. It's emailed to you. But if you prefer a physical copy, don't print it out. Just buy it from Amazon here. You can also see that we have lots of online courses. This one is for our leadership exams. This is very popular. And I am doing a lot of audio courses and I'm about to publish more. Right now I have it for the leadership exams and the Praxis teaching reading. And this is a great combination with the study guide. So if you want to do an audio course plus study guide, we offer that at a substantially lower price and they go really well together and people are really enjoying these audio courses. They're kind of like podcasts where I go through all of the concepts. And of course, you can always check out our free webinars. We do one pretty much every weekend, except for the last weekend of the month, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm always live online with different webinars, so you can check that out there. All right. Thank you so much for watching today. Good luck on your exams and have an awesome day.